Alright, so we are entering the 2025 to 2026 NFL season. And yeah, this channel has been dead for about 9 months, but as I posted on Christian's Coins and Gaming a couple months ago, I'm moving my sports videos, sports topic videos to this channel, Animator's Box. I'm still going to be uploading a couple of the old style videos on here, but it's also going to be for sports. So now we're CCAG Sports, so yeah, that's what we are now. But yeah, last season, 2024, whatever you want to call it, was a wild ride and another great NFL season as long as you're not a Saints fan, which I am. But anyways, yeah, it was another great season. Ended off with the Chiefs failing to get that three-peat and the Eagles finishing on top. My predictions were pretty bad. I'd say normally my predictions are about 70%. Last year I was about 40, so slightly below my traditional rate, but yeah, it wasn't a great year. 2021 and 2022, I was elite with my predictions. Last 2 years, not so much. Let's hope that I rebound this year. But yeah, simply what we do, we take a look at every single NFL team. And then after quickly looking over their schedule, how they did last year, some key additions, just what I think about the team and their schedule for the season. At the end, I have my review sheet and my overall prediction for this season, along with awards and our conference champions and Super Bowl prediction. So yeah, let's get into that.
Who will take home Super Bowl 60? Find out about Christian's predictions after this.
Well, the Pennsylvania Penalty Shots League playoffs is right around the corner, with Tyler and Bulls having those first seeds. Day, Josh Aries gains currently the playoff picture. Seamus Breen still on the outside looking in, and Al Solari, who was eliminated the PP penalty season. 2025 nearing its end, but the playoffs is big and the league continues to grow. Please consider watching it. We will continue always trying our best to have good games for you. And yeah, the playoffs is right around the corner, so consider watching the league. It's a lot of fun. Who's winning the championship? Let's find out. Watch PB.
Kids learn it too.
Alright, so we're going to start in the NFC North here with the Detroit Lions, but I do have a big disclaimer, guys. Just remember this through the entirety of this video. The scheduling that I'm showing here, right here, as you can see, for the Lions, the games that I picked and didn't pick, it says their record and everything. These games that I picked are not, my actual predictions for the teams. These were, my predictions at the very, mid of training camp, maybe. I don't even know. These are probably from early August. So these picks on these schedules are not accurate to my final predictions on my sheet. The schedule is accurate, so only go off the schedule, not go off the predictions, okay? So, gotta keep that in mind. But the Detroit Lions, still, maybe the most talented team in the league. They have had a couple losses on the defense and everything. And, of course, they lost Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, which I do think that's going to affect them. But at the end of the day, they have all the talent in the world. Best running back doing the league. Jared Goff, one of the league's best lines. Great receiving core, great secondary. Aiden Hutchinson hopefully able to come back and be strong from that injury. And Jake Bates is a great kicker. And they have a great punter too. Lions are a complete team all around. And even though, yes, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, I think will stifle the team a bit. And they have a couple losses on the defense. And no Dan Skipper. Yeah, I think they'll be just fine. Dan Campbell, yes, maybe he's not the best coach in the league. And going for it on fourth down is pretty idiotic all the time. But he has a great passion and a great culture. So, yeah, for this team, there's not a lot of games that I think they can't win. I think they have a chance to win every game because of how talented their team is. I don't think they're going to be able to match even close to the record of last year, but I think anywhere from 10 to 13 wins is reasonable. So, yeah, guys, remember, though, the picks on these schedules are not accurate, okay? Only based off the, just look at the schedule. Don't look at the picks, all right?
All right.
Alright, and next up we have a team in which I thought was one of the most fraudulent of all time last season in the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, I get it, their defense is very good. Not elite, but very good. And I think Kevin O'Connell is an elite coach. Here's the thing, though. We saw this in 2022. They won a bunch of games based off of a random fluke season. Next year fell back down to earth. I think that's going to happen again this year. But here's the thing. They are a lot more talented than they were now 3 years ago. So I think they're going to be able to put up a solid team, and again, don't look at these picks here, but I do think 9-8 is probably reasonable for them. They're going to do all right in the division. I think they're going to put up a bunch of fights, but I think when they play 3 or 4 contenders, a team like the Eagles, like the Ravens, I think they will get blown out. and J.J. McCarthy. I'm not the biggest believer in him, and honestly, on the offense aside from the receiving core and tight ends, I really don't think is that good at all. The Vikings, I think, will be mid, but they were fraudulent last year. I'm always going to stand by that. All right, next up we have Ben Johnson's Bears. Yeah, this team, great improvements in the offseason. Did you guys know they hired Ben Johnson, the former Lions OC? Yeah, crazy. I do think the Bears are very talented. We saw what they could do last year when they began like 4-2 or something. I think they have an underrated defense, and Caleb Williams, statistically in his rookie season, was elite. He only threw 6 interceptions. He ran for a ton of yards, and I do truly think that this team will be able to play really close in most of their games. Here's the thing, though. I still think that they're overhyped. I really don't know much about how the offensive line's going to be, Rome Odunze. And though I do think Ben Johnson's going to bring so many great plays to the table, that was a pencil sharpener that just fell there. I honestly think that Caleb Williams is yet again going to have a solid statistical season, actually a great one, but success I don't think is there yet. Sorry, Bears fans, but you guys got to win another year. It's the Chicago Bears, man. And they're in such a tough division. I think they could be third place, maybe second if they play very well and under their ceiling, maybe around 11 wins, maybe, but I can see them also bottoming out, winning 5 games, which I think the Vikings have a higher chance of doing that, but Bears are solid. They're not elite. All right, and the final team of the NFC North are the Green Bay Packers, one of the most overhyped teams this offseason, in my opinion. And I'm just going to say it right now, I think that this team is going to fulfill the prophecy, if you know what I mean. I'm going to completely explain that later, but they're fulfilling the prophecy. And I don't even think this roster is that good. Of course, they signed Micah Parsons, which is a big reason of why I'm doing this video later. And yeah, that's going to incredibly help the defense. I had Micah Parsons winning Defensive Player of the Year on the Cowboys, and I think he's probably still going to do it on the Packers. Jordan Love, still don't know what my thoughts are on him. Like last year, I expected him to take the massively win MVP. He did not. I think overall the guy's the talent, but he has not shown it that much yet. Matt LaFleur, one of the most underrated coaches in the league. In my opinion, one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think the Packers have a chance to win every game that they play in, but I really don't think against the league's best of the best, they're going to do very good. I think they're going to get blown out a couple of times, actually. But, yeah, I can see them upsetting teams like the Lions. I can see them actually blowing out a team like the Bengals or also getting blown out by the Bengals. In the division, they went 1-5 last year. Probably should have been 0-6. But I think they'll be better in the division this year. Maybe going 3-3. Solid defense, solid offense, elite head coaching unit. I believe that it's going to just kind of be interesting to see what the Packers can do. I see them having a ceiling of 13 wins, but I could also see them winning 7. But they're fulfilling the prophecy, so yeah. You guys will know what that means later. Alright, so now we're in the NFC South. And starting up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Great team. I love this team still. Tristan Wirfs, if he wasn't going to miss the first couple weeks, I think would be my pick for the first ever Protector of the Year award. And yeah, honestly, the Buccaneers, it's a pretty easy division. They've already won 4 straight division titles, and it's going to be a harder road this year, but I do truly think that this team is just very great. Todd Bowles, I think, is a solid head coach. I love this team's special teams unit. I love their offensive line. I love Baker Mayfield a lot. You guys will see my thoughts on him later as well. And, yeah, Bucky Irving is going to be a stud. Mike Evans, severely overrated, but he's still a great receiver. Chris Godwin, severely underrated. He was the number 1 receiver last season before he tore his ACL. If he returns and is up to par of last season, he will be scary going into the playoffs. And their defense, it's declining, but it's still great, secondary, and a solid D-line as well. I like the Buccaneers, and I think they could win, maybe if they completely had their ceiling, they could win up to 14 games, in my opinion. And next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons, or the Falcons. Falcons? Yeah, this team is a bunch of talent, but honestly, Raheem Morris, not thrilled about him as a coach at all. And, yeah, honestly, the Falcons, I think Michael Penix Jr. could be solid. I actually think he'd be pretty good. He showed flashes last season in his little time. And Kyle Pitts, how many touchdowns did he score last year? Whatever. He improves by 1 every year, so, if he plays in the league for 15 seasons, he should become the best tight end in year 15. But, yeah, overall, their kicker, Younghoe Koo, has been falling off a cliff. And the defense, still elite secondary, but the defense is falling off too. They've been losing some guys. The Falcons don't impress me. I can see them winning maybe 10 games, but then getting first rounded. But they could honestly win 6 as well. They don't impress me as much as other people say that they impress them. And next up, we have the Carolina Panthers, another one of the most overrated teams this offseason. I'm just going to ramble about Bryce Young for a bit. So, Bryce Young, great guy. I personally think he's never going to make it that good in the NFL. He has a couple great qualities, but he holds onto the ball for too long. He's really short. His arm is not good at all. And yeah, I commend him for what he did in the second half of last season after being benched. Because people, he didn't get enough respect. He carried the Panthers in the second half of last season. But here's the thing, though. People say the Panthers last season ended strong. They did not. They got blown up by the Buccaneers and the Cowboys, and they barely beat the Falcons. Bryce Young ended his season incredibly, but the Panthers as a team did not. Okay, so let's get out of the way. They're overhyped. They lost Adam Thielen. Their defense is still one of the worst of all time. But, hey, there's nowhere to go except up. And their offensive line, not that good. Receiving core, not that good. Running back Chuba Hubbard is a dog, so gotta respect that. Panthers, I really just don't see them doing much this year. I think it's going to take another year. Bryce Young, we're going to see if he's truly the guy. I don't think he is at all. I think he played great to end, last third of the season, but that doesn't really matter. I think the Panthers, if Bryce Young is the guy, could win maybe 9 games. It's really not that good of a roster. I do like Dave Canales as a head coach, though. All right, lastly, for the NFC South, we got my New Orleans Saints, my favorite team. Yeah, what can I say? Last season, I continue to stand by the fact if that team last year was healthy, they would have won about 10 games. That was a really great team. I think my 10-win prediction was solid. But at the end of the day, after a 2-0 elite start, they played the Eagles great. They played the Chiefs very good. They played the Falcons and should have beat the Falcons, but they played them great as well. That was a good Saints team. But now, the injuries continue to kill them. Derek Carr is gone. Got no good quarterback. The Saints, people are acting like they're the worst team of all time. I've seen people literally say they have the worst position group at every, position. I've never seen anything like it. That was literally a comment that I saw. Comparing this team to the 2008 Lions or the 2017 Browns is just insane. It is absolutely false. This team is not that bad, and when I say not that bad, I mean they are not historically bad at all. They still have a great running back room, Alvin Kamara, Kendra Miller, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks. On the defense, Justin Reed. Demario Davis is still actually elite. Cam Jordan has been playing out of his mind, the last couple games in his twilight. And not his seasons. His seasons have not been great, but, his last 3 games were, actually pretty darn good. So, yeah. And Blake Grupe, I think, is a great coach. And I like myself some Kellen Moore. Yeah, I'm being biased because I'm a Saints fan, but I think this team's floor is 3 wins. But if they perform well, and, Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler's the guy, I think 7 wins is solid. But to say this is an all-time bad team, you're just completely false. You don't know anything about the team. Also, Saints, when healthy, top 5 offensive line in the league. I do not care. All right, now starting out the NFC West, we got the Los Angeles Rams. I do think that this team is overhyped, but I also still quite like them. Because Matthew Stafford is still a great pocket passer when healthy. Puka Nacua, oh my gosh. Puka Nacua, who I drafted first round in fantasy, is my pick for the league's best receiver. And Devontae Adams, great defense. Sean McVay might very well be the best head coach in the league. And, of course, Jared Verse, the last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year. Props to him. I think the Rams could be scary if they enter the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to be able to stay healthy. That's my issue with them. They could beat any team in the league, but they could also lose to any team in the league. So, yeah, the Rams are a really up-and-down team. If they're healthy, man, they could win up to 13 games, and it would not be difficult. The 49ers. I have no idea what to say about this team. They could be super injured because it seems like every 3 years they're super injured because there's an injury-prone team. Don't know what's going on with that training staff. But they could, be super injured, win 5 games, or they could be completely healthy and win 14 and lose in the Super Bowl. It could go either way because I still quite like this roster. Sure, they lost a ton of guys. They have Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy is so underrated. He is one of the league's best quarterbacks. I'd argue top 8 when doing good. It's Christian McCaffrey, and they have the best middle linebacker in the league in Fred Warner. I get it's not what the roster used to be. But I really do think when healthy, this team could, in a rhythm, at a peak, win 12 games. But here's the thing, they could also win 5. There's no game I see them losing on their schedule. But there's also, like, no game I see them guaranteed winning because the 49ers are literally, like, since the Montana and Young days, literally, they've either been terrible or elite. So I wonder which way we're going to get this year, but honestly, I see them finally becoming mid. We'll see. Next up, Arizona Cardinals, which I feel like has been a lot of people's dark horse playoff pick the last couple of seasons, and I really don't think it's happening, but I still do like this offense quite a bit. James Conner, Trey McBride, Kyler Murray when he is healthy and locked in is incredible, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think will take a great leap this season. The defense has Buda Baker and, a couple other guys. I believe they got Calais Campbell, but defense doesn't do much for me either. Hey, I don't think the Cardinals' schedule is too bad, and I do see them winning, something between, 6 and 10 games. I really just don't see them making the playoffs, and if they do, they're getting blown out in the first round. They're a good dark horse pick, but it's the Cardinals, and you can't really count Kyler Murray to be consistently good, but I still like the Cardinals a bit. It feels like almost every year I crap on the Seahawks, and then they do good. I had them winning 5 games last year. This year I can see it being around there as well, because I'm not a Sam Darnold believer. But, the Seahawks, they're solidly built. Their defense is getting pretty great. Jackson Smith-Enward is great as well. And Kenneth Walker, he's fine. I just don't like Sam Darnold. And I'm personally just not sold on the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp, doesn't do much for me either. Seahawks are a team that doesn't do much for me, but they always find a way to get a winning record, and they always find a way to fight. They have great coaching, so Seahawks, I don't have much to say about them. I'm crapping on them again this year, but who knows? If they're doing good, I can see them sneaking into the playoffs, but they're not, a good team. All right, the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, the reigning champs. This is the best roster in the league, up there with the Ravens and the Lions. What else can I say? They won the Super Bowl, and they're elite. The people that say Jalen Hurts would be a UFL quarterback without talent around him, well, Tom Brady had talent around him. Drew Brees had talent around him. So does that mean they both suck as well? I don't get it at all. And I don't care. Jalen Hurts is the 6th best quarterback in the NFL. And it's not really close either. I think the top 6 quarterbacks in the league are all way above everyone else. But yeah, the Eagles are a great team. I don't see them collapsing like they did last time, but who knows? Because 2 years ago when they didn't have Kellen Moore, the offense and the entire team collapsed in the second half of the year. The Eagles' floor is around 9 wins, and they'd still probably make the playoffs, but their ceiling is also 15 and then a repeat champion. I really love the Eagles roster. I just don't feel like they're giving the vibes of a repeat champion, but you never really know because they're decked out literally everywhere on the field. So, yeah. Saquon Barkley, hopefully able to stay healthy because, I'm worried considering he was the number 1 fantasy guy last year. Yeah. All right, now the Washington Commanders, the team everyone thinks is going to sophomore slump. And I do agree. But here's the thing. All they did was get better in the offseason. The roster got way better. The only issue is now we have film on them. I don't know why I'm saying we, but now everyone has film on them. And also the schedule is harder. And I don't think they're going to be as lucky. I do think that they get first rounded. But if this team truly is good, they could be first seed good. But also, they could, floor out at 7 games. I do think they're going to have a winning record, and I do think they're making the playoffs. But just look out for Jaden Daniels' stats to go down this year, but as a player, him to maybe even improve. Because I do like their offseason moves, and I love Dan Quinn as a head coach. It's just simply the fact that, it's going to be so hard to repeat the magic of last season. How about them Cowboys? Oh, what a garbage franchise, man. The Cowboys lost Micah Parsons, but I have a hot take here. Micah Parsons, elite player. I don't think it affects the Cowboys that much. This team went healthy. Dak Prescott, elite. I think he might have... This season has given off random MVP vibes. I think there's a chance he wins MVP. George Pickens, I think, is going to ball out. CeeDee Lamb's elite. Javonte Williams, I think, will have a great year. In terms of touchdowns and yards, I think yards per carry is still going to be trash at, but, that's fine. And yes, the defense is bad, but here's the thing. When the defense is healthy, they're still solid. Trayvon Diggs and Deron Blanche is the issue. It's when they're healthy. And Kenny Clark. Missing Micah Parsons is going to be bad, but I think this team could be like a 2011 Saints or a 2011 Packers in which the offense carries a crap defense that is solid when healthy. Cowboys, man, this is being filmed after Thursday Night Football. I liked what I saw in them against the Eagles. I think they would have won if it wasn't for that weather delay, ruining everyone's momentum and chemistry. But yeah, Cowboys, I still think they're a fringe playoff team. And to close out the NFC East and the NFC as a total conference, I have the New York Giants. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I think the roster's solid. Malik Neighbors is incredible. I like Tyrone Tracy, and also the defense, especially the D-line, I think is elite. In 1 or 2 seasons, I think this might be the best defense in football. The issue is the quarterback. I feel like this team could start out, 0-5 again. Don't look off the picks on this schedule. Just look at the schedule. The team could start really bad, 0-5 or something. And I can see Jackson Dart coming in and winning 2 or 3 games for this team. But even if they're a solid team, which I think they could be the equivalent of a 9-win team, the schedule makes it so brutal that they're going to win 4 to 6 games. I love the defense. And if Jackson Dart is the guy and gets that winning streak that I feel like he's going to do after sitting behind Jameson Russell Wilson for a couple weeks, this team could be scary in a couple seasons. All right, and now we enter the AFC conference, and we started with the AFC North. Got the Baltimore Ravens. Elite roster, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Great coaching, Mark Andrews. One of the league's best secondaries and most talented defense. And Tyler Loop, I think, is a great rookie kicker. Going to be better than Justin Tucker. Well, better than Tucker last season, not as a career. But I do like Tyler Loop. But yeah, Ravens are a top 3 most talented team in the league. And again, they have a chance to win every game that they play. I think that last season is kind of going to be the equivalent of this year, except that maybe they get over the hump, maybe they don't. It's really just I really don't know, man. Because Josh Allen, we'll get to him. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are both like Peyton Manning. One of them's got to break through at some point. Could it be the Ravens this year? I don't know, but their floor is 10 wins. All right, now let's go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team, I think, is actually a bit underrated because, well, they have an elite defense. Aaron Rodgers, statistically, not bad last season, even though I do like to say that he's washed because I hate him as a person. And Mike Tomlin's their coach. I really can see the Steelers, having a floor of 7 wins, but also a ceiling of 10, because they always manage to get the winning record. And I think the schedule's super winnable. Looking at the schedule right here, I think my picks still kind of hold up, because ever since Aaron Rodgers come to the team, since August, I really don't think there's many differences. The Steelers are probably going to get a winning record. Make the playoffs? I'm not sure. And also, TJ Watt's very good. All right, the Cleveland Browns. My pick for the worst team in the NFL. I'm sorry, but this team is bad. Myles Garrett, in my opinion, not based off of positional value, but in terms of their current talent and what they're doing for their position and their position alone, I think Myles Garrett is the best player in the entire NFL, best football player in the world. But yeah, the offense, I'm sorry. I'm really hoping that all 4, or however many quarterbacks they have, I'm hoping that all of them start at least a game this year. I really just don't see anything in the Browns. They have a pretty tough schedule, and they're going to win a couple games in the division. That's about it. Their floor is about 2 wins. I think they're less talented than the Saints. And now to close the AFC North, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals. This team is really hard to predict because the defense, not getting any better. Trey Hendrickson is back for 1 season. And the offense, yes, they have Joe Burrow. They have, of course, the best receiver in the league from last season, Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, and the running back is very good too, Chase Brown, I believe. Here's the issue, though. Yes, those 4 elite skill position players, but the offensive line, tight ends, rest of the receiving core, not great. Not at all. Also, their head coach, what is it, Zach Taylor, something like that? I'm not sure if it is, but their head coach is bad. I really don't like him at all. Yeah. The Bengals could win 5 games on the back of a terrible defense, but we've also seen teams with no defense and just an elite offense win a lot of games. The Bengals are super heavy on both sides of the spectrum. I don't know which one will show up this year. I really don't. All right, now starting out the AFC South. Again, from August, this season prediction has changed a lot. So that's why you shouldn't be paying attention to these old predictions. Just look at the schedule, and yeah. The Colts, I think they're a bit underrated in the fact that their roster isn't bad. I don't think Daniel Jones is that terrible, but I do think Anthony Richardson is that bad. But, Jonathan Taylor is great. I love Tyler Warren. I was watching Penn State a ton last year, and he reminds me a lot of Taysom Hill in the fact that he does everything. I love Tyler Warren a lot. I think that's a great pick. And the defense is still pretty good, too, and I think Shane Steichen's a good coach. It's just the Colts, they don't do much for me. I really think they could surprise some people and win 9 games, but I can also see them bottoming out and winning 3. And next up is probably my biggest dark horse team pick. Dark horse to make the playoffs, dark horse to make the Final Four, maybe even the Jacksonville Jaguars, because I'm just such a believer in Trevor Lawrence. His second season in the league, he was absolutely elite, and the third season he was playing great too before his injury, and when he came back he was trash, and last season he wasn't terrible, but he was injured a lot again, and he was pretty mid. I think he's going to break through one of these years and not be elite, not be a top 3 quarterback, but could be elite and is going to be very good. Definitely top 10. And this offense I just absolutely love. I mean, Travis Etienne I think will rebound. And also, Brian Thomas Jr. Are we kidding? There is no more Evan Ingram, who's one of my favorite tight ends. But on the defense, too, they have some great pieces. And I do quite like Liam Cohen, whatever it is. I think he has a chance to win Coach of the Year. If this team can stay healthy and Trevor Lawrence can prove to rebound, I think this team is a dark horse contender. Could win up to 12 games. I don't think they are, but winning the division is in reach, considering how bad this division is. Next up, Tennessee Titans, the league's worst team last season. I don't have much to say about them. This roster is bad. It really is. The defense, I think, passing defense-wise, I think they're pretty good. Rest of the defense is terrible. Offense, very bad too. Cam Ward, one of the least talked about first overall picks ever. I think if he's the guy, that's great. They'll be able to tell by the end of this season. But the rest of the team is bad, so even if Cam Ward's good, maybe 7 wins. To close the AFC South, I'm just going to say it right now, I'm a hater of the Texans this season. I think the defense is great. I really do. D'Amico Ryans, I think, is a solid head coach. But do you know who I think is actually not that good? I can't believe I'm saying this, but CJ Stroud. I view the guy as an unintelligent, cocky quarterback. And I'm not trying to be mean to him. I'm not talking about him as a person, but as a quarterback, I think he overhypes himself. And I just really don't think he's the smartest in-game decision maker. He has the physical talent. But the problem is, this line is, in my opinion, the league's worst. Bottom 5 for sure, though. And the team's struggles of staying healthy are still there. No Tank Dell. Stephon Diggs is gone, who was actually putting up a solid season last year. Joe Mixon's getting older, and CJ Stroud, I really think he's overrated. His rookie season showed what he could do, but I really think he's only going to have 1 or 2 career seasons that match that. Also, their schedule, not great. I'm predicting the Texans' offense to be actually one of the league's least efficient. So the Chiefs have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, so they're going to be good. When I look at the Raiders, I see a team that is really underrated. I'm a big lover of Geno Smith. I love the guy. I think he can make an offense work no matter what the offensive line is, no matter who the weapons are. And I also love Pete Carroll coming back. I think that's great. The Raiders' defense, too. Max Crosby, and I think a pretty underrated secondary. The defense could be, mediocre to good. Maybe top 10. But I just love the offense. Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Geno Smith just working with guys like that. Oh, Ashton Genty. I really think this team could be a dark horse team to have a winning record. I think their ceiling is around 11 games. They could really make it work and have one of those all-time turnarounds, but also could win 6 games as well. I just like the Raiders, and I think they could do a lot of good things. I'm still not buying the Chargers hype. This video is being recorded after 2 NFL games, the Thursday night one and the Friday night, and I saw Justin Herbert play absolutely phenomenal. I'm still not buying this team. I'm still not. Jim Harbaugh, great coach. Defense, elite. The receiving core, Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston, are both looking like they're going to turn into stars. Yet, I'm still just not in the offensive line. Joe Alt, I'm still not buying the team for some reason. I think it's the fact that if they make the playoffs, they're not going to do anything. The Chargers' ceiling is around 12-13 wins. I really think they could achieve that, but I still don't think they're going to win a playoff game. But they have a high chance of disappointing and winning around 7 games. I think Justin Herbert is an all-time talent. As a player, I still don't know what I see in him, but Friday he played incredible. Props to him. So for me, the Denver Broncos show a lot of potential in the fact that this team could take the next step forward and be the league's best in the regular season. But they could also have a sophomore slump, similar to what the Texans did last season. But they added so many great pieces. They have J.K. Dobbins now, if I'm correct, and they have Evan Ingram. They also have, they added a couple guys to the defense from the 49ers, and they already had, top 3 defense in the league last season. I think they're going to have the league's best defense this year in points allowed, yards allowed. And they have the reigning defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain. And I think that Sean Payton, one of my GOATs since I'm a Saints fan, I think he could win Coach of the Year if this team wins enough games. I love Bo Nix. I don't know if he'll be able to improve off last season because, again, quarterback careers statistically are not linear. But this team, literally, all they did was improve. So I think they're going to, like, even if they only match last season's record, they're going to have the best defense in the league. And in terms of their talent, they are going to improve. I still don't know if they will win a playoff game, though. All right, and for our final division, we have the AFC East. And this is a team I'm so tired of hearing hype for, the New England Patriots. Yeah, they had a pretty darn good offseason. Stephon Diggs does not move the needle for me. He was putting up a great season last year, but he continues to get a bit lesser every single season. And he's coming off a torn ACL, and he's like 32 or something, I believe. He doesn't move the needle for me. Drake May, I actually kind of hate just because the fact that I think the name Drake is annoying. And he made the Pro Bowl last year. How? He showed some great flashes, and when he was on the field, this team was a lot better and had a lot more heart. But I'm sorry. 15 touchdowns, 10 picks. What are we doing? I get he was a fill-in for a guy that made the Super Bowl, but still, what are we doing? But, one of the league's best corners. Solid defensive line. The offensive line is still terrible, and I still don't think there's a lot of good weapons. I think the Patriots are definitely going to improve off last season, but I'm still not big on Drake May. And yes, they have an easy schedule, so 7 wins is my prediction, probably. But, like, the people saying they're going to win 12 games off of an easy schedule, no. The Patriots are not even close to that level at all. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills, which, the most heartbroken team. They're kind of like the Colts of this era right now, the team that can't get it through. Just like the Ravens, and I do think one of the two teams will get over the hump. Maybe not winning the Super Bowl, but getting to the Super Bowl, yes, I think one of the two teams, this team or the Ravens, will do. Josh Allen is still one of my top probably 5 favorite quarterbacks of all time. I mean, not only have I gotten him in fantasy every single year that I've been doing it, so that's like the last 4 years now. I get him every year, but he's such a great sport and an elite athlete, and he deserves that girl. But yeah, happy marriage to Josh. But this defense scares me, but the offense is Josh Allen and James Cook, and I truly think those are two players that are capable of carrying a team. Josh Allen deserved that MVP. I think Jackson had a way better season, but Allen deserved the MVP due to the fact that he was more valuable to his team. The Bills do not impress me. I think the defense could be one of the league's worst, actually, but Josh Allen and James Cook are just those guys that can carry a team. And the schedule, it's rough, but the Bills always find ways to win. All right, the New York Jets. They hired Aaron Glenn, and I already think this defense is very darn good. Quinnen Williams, all-pro level player. Sauce Gardner's great. They have other good, couple pieces, and I do like Aaron Glenn quite a bit. And Justin Fields, yes, he's still not the best passer, but on the ground, he's elite, and I think this is one of the league's best rushing attacks. Justin Fields, Breece Hall, who I drafted for my fantasy team, and Braylon Allen. And then Garrett Wilson also, I think the Jets are underrated. People are saying they're going to be one of the league's absolute worst teams. I don't see it at all. They could win, at peak, maybe 9 games if the defense plays well. And Justin Fields, why do I feel like I said Josh Allen? If Justin Fields can play well. I do like this team a lot. Let's see what Aaron Glenn can do for them. And last but probably least, the Miami Dolphins, a team that, people were saying were going to be mid, because whenever Tua was in last season, they were pretty good. And also the last 2 seasons before last year, they were a playoff team. But the Dolphins over the last month have turned into one of the biggest train wrecks. Not only have they been fleecing teams or getting fleeced themselves, but the team cannot stay healthy. And they suck in prime time and in cold, bad weather. Tua, super injured. I still think he's a great guy, great quarterback. And, Tyreek Hill getting older, still solid. Jalen Waddle, he did fall off a cliff, but I think he could come back. But the defense, the secondary is terrible. And most of their studs are gone. Mike McDaniel, as a coach, I really don't know if he has enough heart to coach this team. The Dolphins, that could surprise some people and, win 10 games, but after that fleeced trade, losing guys like Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, this team is going to struggle to stay healthy, I know it, and yeah, I can definitely see them bottoming out, and maybe even getting the first overall pick. So I skimmed through every team, and here are my official predictions, my Google Doc, my official sheet that I keep for, any bets, any fantasy predictions, anything when people ask how I did, and for me to just look at myself, my 2025 to 26 NFL season predictions. Here they are. All my divisions, and yes, most of the records are similar to what I had in August, but some have changed quite a bit. So that's why I said only look at the schedule for those, layers that I was showing, the clips for each team. Because the picks, not accurate to my current ones now. But yeah, here are my official predictions for this season. Look at them all you want. Pause it. See how bad they are. But yeah, so whenever a team is bolded in the standings, that means they're making the playoffs. Whenever they're not, they're missing the playoffs. So yeah, for the AFC, I got the Bills, the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and then the Jaguars, and then the Broncos over the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are still making the playoffs. And then for the NFC, I got the reigning champion Eagles, Cowboys, Washington, Detroit, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Los Angeles. Those are going to be my playoff teams. So yeah, those are all my standings. As you can see, I'm going to be looking back at them in a year. Or not in a year, but like at the end of the season. And I always show other people this as well. This is my official sheet that I do. Here it is. Final. That's it. What about awards? I already said this was going to be a year that was going to have a random MVP. And I got Baker Mayfield. I love the guy. He's going to pass for so many yards. I think Tampa Bay is going to be great. Maybe even make a deep playoff run. And I think that Mayfield's also going to be great on the ground. Offensive Player of the Year, Joe Burrow. If the Bengals make the playoffs like my prediction states, it's going to be hard for him not to win an award. Defensive Player of the Year. It was going to be Micah Parsons when he was on the Cowboys, and now on the Packers. Why not win it? I love Micah Parsons so much. Yes, this is an easy cop-out pick, but Ashton Genty for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think the Raiders winning 7 games is very solid. They're going to be a good 7-win team, and I think he's going to put up a great year. Probably rush over for 1,000 yards. Defensive Rookie of the Year. This is an absolute sleeper. Jahdae Barron. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but I saw a couple clips of him, and I thought he was great, and he's playing on already my pick for the best defense in the league. So many other great guys around him and great coaching, and I really think he's going to excel. Yes, he was drafted in the 1st or 2nd round, I believe, but he's a sleeper pick, and not a lot of people are talking about him. I think he will be great if he's able to stay healthy. And oh yeah, the new award, Protector of the Year. Easy. Another cop-out pick, but I'm going with Joe Alt. He was great in his rookie season, and I think the Chargers' strength is going to be offense. That's not true because their defense is great too, but I do think that the defense will take a step back, but their strength is going to be the line on the offense. That's what I was trying to say. And I love Joe Alt, so I want to go with him. Comeback Player of the Year, Dak Prescott. Now, the reason I'm picking Dak Prescott, I think Aiden Hutchinson and a couple other guys might have a higher chance to doing it, but just the fact that I have the Cowboys making the playoffs and winning 10 games, Comeback Player of the Year, you have to excel on the field. So I feel like they would give it to a quarterback excelling with the team. Walter Payton Man of the Year. This is an impossible award to predict, but I'm a Saints fan, so I'm going to go with Cam Jordan. And Coach of the Year. If the Jaguars end up making the playoffs, it's going to be hard not to go with Liam Cohen, however you pronounce it. So yeah, my official championship predictions now. My AFC championship is actually a division game. Bengals at Baltimore, but I'm going to take Baltimore. So that means out of the 2 teams that have been sleeping in the AFC in the playoffs every year under the Chiefs, being so close every time, the Bills and Baltimore, I have Baltimore Ravens taking that and making it back to the Super Bowl 60. But now for my NFC championship, I got Green Bay at Philadelphia. Baltimore was at home and they ended up winning it. Yes, the Eagles are the reigning champions, but I have the Green Bay Packers taking it. As you can see in my predictions, Packers, 10 wins. I don't think they're going to be the best against contenders, but truly, they're going to have a great playoff run. So yeah, I have them making it to Super Bowl 60. So Green Bay and Baltimore, who wins it? The Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, my Super Bowl 60 predictions. Here it is right now, despite going 10-6 in the regular season. That's who I have winning it. Yep. And oh yeah, what is the prophecy? Of course, I think the Packers are a good team. Playoff team as well. Maybe not a division winner. And signing Micah Parsons, I have him winning Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, I think they're a playoff team. But are they truly a Super Bowl contender? In my opinion, no. As I said, I think they're overhyped. But here's the thing. They're a playoff contender, and they have, a lot of those Super Bowl vibes, kind of. And I really just think they're going to fulfill the prophecy of Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love. Because here's the thing. Jordan Love sat behind Rodgers, just like Rodgers sat behind Favre. And Love in his rookie season, up and down, but then in year 2, guess what? Love wins 11 games. Rodgers also did that. Year 3, Rodgers declined. The team won 10 games. Love, I think the team will win 10 games again. He might decline. But the thing is, when Rodgers declined and the team won 10 games, they won the Super Bowl. And I think Love will win the Super Bowl. Favre didn't have the same story, but he won it in the same year, his Super Bowl. And I really think that's the prophecy. Love and Favre and Rodgers. Those 3 guys, all going to win one for the franchise. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Jordan Love. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy like the other 2. But that's the Green Bay Packers prophecy.